Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before we start, let me introduce and give a little bit info about myself. I am Muslima Odoljanova, a sophomore student at Millat Umidi University in computer science. I have experience in Python for more than a year or so, and currently I'm having an internship at an international company with Python's Django framework and Fast API. So I'll be sharing you with information about Python, Java, and data structures in my channel. So for further information and further valuable knowledge, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So for today's video, we're going to talk about Java. So let's start. We are starting with just the basics. This is just about the timeline. So it started in 1991 and so far it's becoming really famous. Actually, lately it's becoming a lot famous in especially fintech industry. Okay, let's talk about its features. First, it's a pure OO language that provides constructs to define classes, create, destroy objects dynamically, and send messages. And it's not procedural constructs. If you have experience with Python, you should know that it's procedural language, which means if you write from the top to bottom, or if you just write in the main py file, for example main.py, it just works from top to the bottom. But it's not just like that in Java language, as it's object-oriented, pure object-oriented language. We'll talk about how it works in Java just a bit later. For now, let's try to understand what object really is. Well, you know that the whole world consists of objects. We can just take our laptop. It's one object. And objects have their attributes and their methods. What are attributes? Attributes are what the object has or what the object consists of. For example, the object laptop consists of its screen, its CPU, and the other stuff. And what methods does it have is like you can click certain buttons, or you can write code with your laptop, or you can watch videos in YouTube using your laptop. So these are its methods. And this is how it works in programming. And it's one of more features are platform independence. So you write once and write everywhere, translate to intermediate language, which is bytecoding and interpreter. We'll talk about this in more detail in this video, just a bit later as well. And high dynamicity. Again, if you have experience, I don't know, an automatic garbage collection. Garbage collection. What is garbage collection? Garbage collection collects the unnecessary information and helps us with the memory leaks. And it's a robust language as it strong type model and no explicit pointers, runtime checks, and garbage collection, as we have said, an expression of persuasive mechanism to check errors. So using try and accept, you can work with the errors that might cause to stop our program. And it shares most of its syntax with C++ or C. Okay, this is the example of how our code might look like in Java. As we have said, it's pure OO language. It should have a single class in a single file. For example, we have the class first, and our first class should be separated in the first.java file. And it cannot have any more classes inside the file. And public class first and curly braces is how you are going to define your class. And we have no functions because classes have methods, not the functions. And how are we going to create a method inside the function is with a void class, for example, public static void main and string and arguments. You should note that return type is the void and argument 0 is the first argument on the command line after programming name. For now, let's just assume that this is what should we have when defining a method inside the class. But further, we are going to dive deep into this and learn more how these things are working. Yes. And this is building and running. As we have said, we should have our classes in separate files that ends with Java. And this is our source code, which is the code that we write in the Java programming language. And when we run our source code, it goes to the compiler. And compiler bytecodes our code. Bytecoding means turning our code into zeros and ones, which the machine will be able to read. And our bytecode is run on the Java Virtual Machine, JVM, and JVM works with the operating system, and the operating system works directly with the CPU. And we should know, just keep in mind that the JVMs mostly work in C languages. So it makes it easier to work with the OS and with the CPU. This is more about what we have mentioned. And this is the example of how it looks in a real world. Now let's try to write the same thing in the code. If it's visible, let's go on. Here I have the classes already, but let's start from the beginning. So to create a class, you right-click on the source folder, and with the new, you can create a class. For now, let's call it first. And it opens the class for us. And as all the programmers, let's try to write our first program in Java as inherited from everyone with the word hello world. So we should have our method that returns the hello world. So let's define our method. Public static void, and let's call it just main. And our arguments and in order to return something, to print something on the console, we write in Java system.out.println. and we write our program. Oops. Hello world. Let's use the exclamation mark as well. And as the syntax requires, we should have a semicolon at the end. What is wrong with our code? So, as you can see, we should have not single but double quotes. Yeah, it is working. And let's try to run our first Hello World program. And here, as you see, it compiled, and now we have the output here on the console. So that was it for the first video. See you in the next ones.